Hi, and welcome to ALECTV at the States and Nation Policy Summit here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm Tom McLaughlin, and I'm joined now by Representative Jim Murphy of Missouri. How are you today?
I'm just great. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. So today I wanted to talk to you about, you had a problem with prosecuting attorneys in your state. Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah, well, actually, it's been an ongoing problem. I have sponsored a bill this year, as I did last year, for the state of Missouri. Our problem is that prosecuting attorneys, and this isn't unique to Missouri, it's pretty much a nationwide problem. We have allowed prosecuting attorneys to get so powerful that they're probably the only elected official that doesn't have a double check to them.
Huh.
So they have prosecutorial discretion to the point where now a lot of them become social warriors and so forth, where they, instead of prosecuting laws, they're nullifying laws. They're saying we're not going to take a range of laws that we don't feel that are just, and we're just not going to prosecute them.
So interesting. So wide view, what does that mean for Missouri?
What does that mean for Missouri? We have a prosecuting attorney in St. Louis County, for example, who says, I'm not going to prosecute gentlemen that don't pay their child support because it's a waste of our time, so we're just going to let those go into civil court. Well, that's great, except for the previous prosecuting attorney recovered over $6 million a year for women who, weren't getting their child support, where the civil courts were only giving up like $100,000.
Oh, wow.
So by usurping the law and saying just go do this, they were cheating women who are actually in need and children that needed it. He also said, I'm not going to prosecute any D felonies.
Really?
Which means I'm not going to do any marijuana charges or anything like that. And we get that there's a very big debate on those charges, but it's not up to a prosecuting attorney to nullify the law. If he wants to do that, he needs to run for my office and change the law.
Right.
And
it shouldn't be coming from that particular
It should not
office.
be coming from that. In our St. Louis city, we have a prosecuting attorney who's got a 12% conviction rate.
Really?
She has found 80 police officers that she says that have posted on Facebook things that she didn't like, so she won't prosecute anything that they do. If they make arrests, she just throws them right out the door.
Seems like they're kind of taking the law away from the legislators here.
They have taken the law away. But the result in this is that surrounding counties won't even go into St. Louis City and pick up people they have warrants on because they're afraid of what the prosecutor will do to them. So it's kind of become a war of prosecutors against police, which is just not what it should be.
So what steps are you taking to kind of address this issue?
So what I've done is I've filed a bill that says that if there is reason to be prosecuted and the prosecutor says, I'm not going to do it, the police can then request to the Attorney General to look at it, and if he reviews it and finds that it should be prosecuted, he has the right to do it.
Very interesting.
So what we're doing is really just putting a double check on it because it's necessary.
Right, and any office should have that kind of double check.
It should, and people have said, oh, well, you're just being racist because they're both black prosecutors. But the truth of the matter is everybody knows what happened in Ferguson, Missouri. And if you remember the protests that were closing down our interstates, it was because our prosecuting attorney, who was a white Democrat, said he wasn't going to prosecute the policemen.
Right.
This would have given those prosecutors or those demonstrators a way to appeal it to the Attorney General. So it might have stopped all of that. Then we have Jesse Smollett up in Chicago. We have what went on in Baltimore. This is a nationwide problem. We need to have a double check on our prosecutors. So I've filed a bill to do that.
Agreed. And I also just wanted to double back on something that you and I talked about last time you were here. You were doing a media literacy, kind of cutting through the fake news initiative. How has that gone for you since we last talked?
Well, we actually filed that bill this week. Media literacy, everybody thinks it's about fake news and trying to manipulate the news. It's really nothing to do with that because children receive their news from Facebook, from Twitter, from Snapchat, from movies, from magazines, from TV, all of these different methods that are coming at them. And it's really teaching them a process of how to process the information, how to question it, how to verify the information, whether it's true or not, and not jumping to conclusions of the first thing they hear.
Right.
But what's even more important than that is that today we have a problem with bullying.
Right.
And media has really become part of that with Facebook and so forth. And we keep saying, well, we got to stop this. We got to stop the bullying. Well, we do, but we're not going to. Bullying has been around since there's been two people on Earth.
Right.
And it will continue. So we have to teach our kids how to handle it, how to not take it to heart, how to not become so upset over being bullied that they jump off of bridges or take out a gun and shoot up a school. So social media literacy is really all-encompassing, and when we teach our kids how to process information the proper way, and there are ways of doing this,
right,
then I think we'll have a much better outcome at the end of their schooling.
Glad to hear it. Well, Representative Murphy, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and joining us at ALECTV today. And keep it right here. We'll have a lot more coverage coming your way from the States and Nation Policy Summit. Thanks.
Thank you.